Hello, 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 my name is Sam, otherwise known as Function, and it is just awesome to be back with some more Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever content just before we meet the players on the map. If you are so inclined, I would ask you to scroll down, click a few of the buttons, just click them at random. They'll do good things, most of them. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell me what you think of the videos, tell me what you think of the players of the game, what should they have done differently, all of that lovely stuff. Anyway, let's meet the players. Genbro 101, sitting at 1235 rating points in Red Cybran, and over on the other side, the entire population of DK. We will refer to him henceforth as DK. 1334 rating points in blue UEF, so both players color-coded. I like it. The map, Vulcan's Reach, 10k map. It feels like a 20k, honestly, when you play on this map. Everything's so bloody far away. Massive. This is just land, by the way. This dark-coloured patch in the middle, it's all land. Not a lot really going on. There's a bunch of reclaim, 14k reclaim. A bunch of it is in the middle there, but it's an odd map. It's an odd map, honestly. Not my favourite to play on. I do generally prefer maps that are all land, but I prefer something like Fields of Isis to something like this. Too many spots that can be easily raided. Too many APMs necessary to play on a map like this for me, but we'll see what these guys are able to do. A little bit of early aggression out for DK. I'm going to send a Mech Marine and accompanying Snoop. Just engineers built so far. Do have an air factory already. Bomber just rolling off there with associated scout. Pro tip, build the bomber first, build the scout second, because the bomber is so slow and the scout is so fast. Second bomber has been completed for Kembro, and we've got a bomber out for DK, who is trying to kill this engineer and failing spectacularly as it gets microed out of the way. Doesn't even get any bombs off, and an interceptor comes across that. Looks like the bomber that was down here got killed by this interceptor. I don't think it managed to kill anything. See if we can find an engineer wreck. I don't see anything. Shout out if you do. Just a heads up, I am now four casts into my rapid recording session. The last one I had to cut short. It was still 36 minutes, but I had to stop recording because it was an 8v8 and my old CPU was struggling to keep up. I think when I start running at anything below 0 speed, I would prefer to just move on with my life. And because I am effectively, four casts into this session, I am getting more and more delirious, losing my mind more and more rapidly. So I will do my best to keep up with this map, but please excuse me if I miss anything, as we see a couple of Mantis come in for Kembro there, just causing more of a nuisance than anything, not going to be able to kill any structures, just absorbing some APMs. Both commanders moving up towards the same corner. DK must have walked this commander all the way up. You can see a decent number of tanks out for Kembro, but Kembro he was moving his commander over to the right hand side. It looks like he spotted his enemy commander, so he's actually moving to the centre now. No one has actually gone to the left hand side, and just as I say that, I spot a skyhook laden with engineers moving down to the left there. So we've got a vertical split this game. I think most of the time when I play this map, we end up with a horizontal split. I don't know what that says about me, but it probably says something profound. Anyway, commander moving forward. It's quite nice to be able to set up, you know, a sort of firebase down here, or kind of a base of operations. I like to, this is one of the maps where I like to scatter Tier 1 factories around. I like to build one here, one here, one here, and maybe even one down here. So you can get engineers out nice and quickly. There's so much reclaim spread out massively on this map that it's good to be able to get engineers, access to engineers anywhere. And you know, you can brute force forwards with a bunch of land forces down here, clear out the opposing, the defending forces that the enemy may have, and then you've got your engineers on their patrol mission, reclaim mission, and then you can divert them down and build some mexes of your own. Anyway, nice little raiding party over here, denying a mex. I think they've got an engineer kill or maybe a tank kill. And at the same time, a little raid going down on the southern side here. A dozen or so, maybe 2 dozen mantis in that party. I've got one sort of 10 or 12 in this group up here. I'm going to get 1 mex, going to get a second one presumably. Maybe a third one, but I doubt they'll get too much more done than that with the commander in the area. This one down here, going for some engineer kills. Denying a couple of mexes, very nice. Commander producing some mexes of his own. DK using this secondary base that he's built up to launch a couple of raids over onto this central divot into the mountain range here. Gets a couple of the mexes, but Mantis coming in to counter him. Still got about a dozen Mantis or so down here, but outnumbered now by strikers, I think. It's not going to get too much more done, just causing more of a nuisance than anything else. Kenbro securing control of the lower left side there. Moving forward to with the commander. We've got T2 HQ completed, not currently building anything. So we'll see what he does with that. Do we have any tech? We do have T2 Land HQ for DK as well. Just producing an engineer, a second engineer to start, and then a whole bunch of pillars will start rolling off the bat there. So these mexes, so this pair, this pair, this pair, and this pair, very vulnerable, quite hard to defend. They tend to get raided quite often. For some reason, when I play this map, I can get a raiding party down in here, and then the enemy seems to just forget about them. So they, they go off, and then you've got this raiding party that's just sat here, and then you can bring them into their main base and cause havoc. It seems to happen often. I don't really know why. My current 1v1 rating is about 1,000, about 950, something like that. I don't know if that's kind of a standard thing at that rating, but feels like it shouldn't happen. Maybe I'm just getting lucky. Anyway, the Mantis have been deleted from the area by the strikers. Strikers are going to move up because there is another Mantis raiding party. Kill a raider, kill a mex, kill an engineer. All in a day's work for the Cypern. A nice drop here, fantastic tactic. Looks like only Mantis, 5 Mantis being dropped in. I'd rather see Medusa, to be honest. T1 Mobilati, far more effective against static targets like mexes and factories than Mantis. We got Mantis anyway, so screw this. Just get one shot because they haven't been microed. Love it. Got a bunch of T2 engineers, so no offensive T2 units that I can see, just engineers being produced. Seeing power generators being produced currently. We'll take a quick look at the economies. Kenbro, a few mass per tick ahead, but DK currently ahead on total mass. looks like that's going to even out over the next few minutes because Kenbro is, like I say, ahead on generated eco. It's quite nice to be able to kill these mexes, but feels quite nice when you're able to do that when I play, certainly. But pillars defending now, and these mantis stuck between a rock and a hard place. Strikers going to cut off their retreat. Are you allowed to kill retreating forces? Is that in the Geneva Convention? Doesn't feel good, does it? They're literally running away. I suppose they are running away and shooting guns at you at the same time, so maybe you can kill them. Anyway, one lone mantis up here has been causing a bit of a nuisance. If he kept on that mass extractor, I think he would have killed it. I think he might have killed an engineer, though, so certainly worth his time being there. A little bit of a lull as everything goes a bit silent. Lobo firing up here. So yeah, like I say, these pairs of mexes can be fairly volatile. Kenbro, though, doing a good job of keeping control of this pair and keeping good control, well, both players keeping control of their expanded zones. Kenbro has actually brought that commander back to the base. It was on the front line, now it is not. Neither commander with any upgrades. Nice chunk of pillars and strikers all in lockstep. There's some command you can do that you can set all the units on a move command and they will all move at the pace of the slowest unit. There's, I can't remember what the key binding is, but you can find it. If you click F1, you get this key binding list up and you can search through that. But yeah, a couple of armies building up slowly. Do we see any T2 units out for Kenbro? I don't think we do, so still just sticking with the T1, which surprises me. He's down on tech, but he's using some Zeuses quite effectively to defend against the pillars that are just standing around doing nothing for DK. But a nice push coming down now for DK, moving into the southern left expansion. There is one PD in defense, but I don't think that will deter DK. Some pillars not doing anything, and some mexes that need killing. A match made in heaven. Just give the command. Let them do their dark work. A wave of blue crashes. Gets to work dismantling Kenbro's base that has stood for 10 minutes or so. An attempt at a little raid up here. They're actually outnumbering now, but they're focusing on the wrong thing. I think the Mantis will probably come out on top now. Move command comes in to micro the mantle away and complete decimation of this space down here. The PD did absolutely nothing, but a lot of mass has been spent on this, and not enough mass has been spent on defending the main base. So a big push coming in from Kenbro. We do see a Rhino or two or three in the mix there with the Mantis. No Lobos, so just focusing on those unit-to-unit specialist forces. Faces up against those pillars and actually going to pull away. So going to go wheel round to the right. Not a bad idea because it's going to take those pillars a while to get it in the back there. It's going to be able to kill a couple of factories, kill that buzzkill, kill some units that have been singled out, and get at least one T2 mech kill, possibly some power kills. And those units over here still moving in the wrong direction. I would get these units moving around here, get these units moving in here maybe. Kenbro forcing his units into a single file line. Definitely not the approach that you want. Can be quite hard to micro them effectively though, but we've got T3 now. Some loyalists. Fast moving siege bots there for Kenbro. See what he can get done with those. Go through this thought process every time. generally prefer to see bricks, but loyalists are much cheaper, and on a map like this, they are very useful because they are fast. But honestly, now that you're facing up against some T2 units, I would at least mix in bricks and just airdrop them into a location. I think you can fit 2 bricks onto a T1 transport ship, but even if you can only fit 1, build bricks, drop them over. Do you have air superiority? Yes, you do. So that would be my suggestion. But over here, this big raiding party hasn't gone into the main base, but it got a T2 mech kill up here, and got a couple of T1s over here as well. These T1s have been denied. This raiding party up here that destroyed the expansion down in the bottom left here, moving up, getting these 2 mexes, and then trying to continue to move forward. A whole lot of defending forces though, so I don't think they'll get a whole lot done. They are distracting those loyalists for now, so it'll be a little bit longer before those loyalists can do more meaningful work. And this entrance up here looking a little bit defenseless. There's got a loyalist in the base, there's a PD there, but you could easily get units in past the PD. Just ignore the PD, move in past, you can certainly get this mech skill, probably get this one as well. Those raiding forces being deleted. Looks like 1 loyalist went down, I don't think there are any TT, UEF or Cybran units that cost that much mass. So I think that is a loyalist wreck. T2 completed on this commander here. We'll start work on a triad. Do we have any upgrades on this commander? No, just sitting around, not doing a whole lot. He's got control of the air, and he doesn't have any immediate advancing enemies, so he's just content to sit and not do too much for now. Reducing T3 power there for Kembro. Take a quick look at the economies. So Kembro losing all of this, these expanded mexes down in the south here has really hit his economy. He's down 40 or so mass per tick, down about 12k total mass. Speed it up a little bit here. Those loyalists and co moving north again. There's Zeus gets to work on that T1 mech that was left behind that. There's some T2 flak in the area. They make a lovely sound, those T2 mobile flak units. And just as Kembro tries to regain control of this expansion, DK moving in with what can only be described as overkill in the form of 24 pillars. Over on east of center here, loyalists facing off against pillars. Loyalists, of course, winning. Moving forward, not a whole lot in terms of defense left behind for DK, so possibly some damage to be done by these T3 units. They should be able to easily kill this T2 mechs. It's having more mass invested in it in the form of storage. There we go. A little bit slow off the mark, but DK finally moving those units in, but he's moving them around the corner. They were down here, they must have moved up here and then moving around, so not the way to do it. We'll move very slowly past this point defense. So point defense is going to get 4 kills or so. Bomber's going to be able to get some kills as well, and in the time it took for DK to realise that he could exploit this situation, half a dozen more loyalists have been built, and they are very much in the right place at the right time. Now, those pillars destroyed the engineers and mexes that were over here, and engineers are being dropped over for DK, so DK is about to have 3 corners of the map. Now, that is not a situation you want to be in for Kembro. From Kembro's point of view. However, Kembro has is getting some really good work done down here. There's loyalists getting in, destroying the PD, destroying some mexes, destroying a factory. Continue on. Still just really not a whole lot in defense. There is one Percival, a couple of pillars to support, but it'll take, I think, yeah, 2 shots from a Percival's gun to kill a loyalist. So Percival's pretty good at defending against T3 units. There's 3 of them now, so even more effective. But those invading Cybran units going to, what's the opposite of invade? Devade, evade, revade, subvade, Darthvade. They're going to Darthvade away and attack this pair of mexes down here. Potentially attack the engineers that have been trying to slowly expand down here. There are some, probably enough pillars in the area. There's only 1 loyalist left in this mix here. So probably DK may want to move those loyalists back down south. Speed up just a little bit as units are moving across the void of Vulcan's reach. I think, yeah, it looks like most of the T1 production has been shifted over to T3 now. At this stage in the game, I really don't mind players producing T2 units. I think T1 is a little bit of a waste of mass at this point. You've got T3 units in defense. Produce Lobos or Medusa, whatever the T1 Mobilati. They're very effective against Percivals. Percivals with their very low rate of fire can't deal with a huge number of T1 units, and then Lobos with very high DPS against slow-moving targets like the Percys. Loyalists here defending against encroaching UEF forces. The UEF do manage to get a T2 Mex kill there. And down in the south, Cambro re-destroying the expansion down here. So a lot of warfare going on down here. It's kind of depressing, to be honest. Hard to make a living down here. This group of pillars, I think came face to face with some loyalists. Now retreating, trying to get back into range of their Percival friends, but I think they're going to get caught out here by the Darthvade forces of Kenbro. There's some Rhinos in the mix there, nice to see. Looks like most of those units are going to die. Loyalist in range now. Speed it up again. Looks like DK content to just produce these large armies. Again, he's producing these big T1 armies. I just don't think you should be producing strikers at this point in the game. Produce Lobos or produce pillars or Percivals, basically. That would be my preference, honestly. But Loyalists down here, creating a defensive perimeter around this south west expansion. That was a large sounding explosion. I think that was the sound of a loyalist dying, I'm not sure. But more engineers being airdropped. We'll see what they can get done. And even more engineers being airdropped down to the bottom left there. Take a look at the economies. Pretty much neck and neck in terms of generated eco, but total mass still in DK's favour by about 15k. This is a proper lull. I'm going to speed it up even more. The player's just not really sure how to proceed from here. Both players kind of turtling up a little bit. Very difficult for either player to get past the defences. The TML has been produced. 3 missiles locked and loaded. There is a buzzkill in the area, but buzzkill's just appalling, honestly. The way to counter buzzkills, produce like 5 missile launchers and shoot them all at once, and they will just basically bypass a buzzkill like it's not there. Oh, it's the other way around. I was thinking these were Kenbro's forces here. I do get confused with my colours sometimes. Blue, red, what's the difference? But I'm gonna go straight for T3 mechs. Boom, goes the dynamite. Now that is a very, very effective use of a missile launcher. Engineers trying to get in. Looks like a missile has been launched at this one as well. Ooh, gets caught up on the whatchamacallit, the mass storage. Second one comes in and one-shots the mechs itself. So a really, really nice use of the TML there. And just to add insult to injury, you get a T1 mechs. Nice. Yeah, 9 kills. 4k mass killed by that launcher. Really, really nice. The nuke construction started. Where is that? Down here in the south. It's trying to produce nuke defense and nuke launcher at the same time. There aren't. I can't see a nuke launcher up here, so just being extra careful to the point of paranoia, honestly. You are 30 minutes into the game. Minutes. There's a lot of mass goes into this that could go into this, honestly. I'd prefer to see scouting rather than hedging of bets, but DK has decided to hedge. He's gone for the safe option, built a nuke defense as well. First, just a bit of a stalemate. I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. Our loyalists just getting cozy, and the Nuke there. We have seen some bricks, yeah, a couple of bricks have been built. Looks like we are shifting over to bricks instead of loyalists. Omni sensor has been built now, and a megalith started there for Kenbro. That is definitely one way to break a stalemate. Experimental crabbot or megabot. Nuke silo has been completed. How much build power are we putting onto this thing? Not enough. It's going to take a while. And this has been paused. And there we go. The what do you call it? Threat has been identified. And the nuke defense has been started. It's easy for me to say that if he hadn't produced this nuke defense, he could have built a missile by now, but I'm not actually sure. It would have been close, honestly. Not sure if he could have built a missile in that amount of time. Defensive missile about 50% done. And with 0 build power, this nuclear missile was 40% complete. So I don't know, with all the build power, I think maybe he could have done it if he hadn't built that defense structure. There we go. Forces moving forwards there. 6 Perseus facing up against 2 or 3 dozen T3 units from Kenbro, so this is not going to go well for DK. He's identified that is the case. He's got way too many T1 units. He's going to get absolutely decimated by the loyalists here. Nice. Bricks moving it in the background. They're proper boxy looking when they're far away from the camera. Just way my graphics settings are set up, maybe. Very boxy looking. Actually look like painted cardboard boxes, I love it. But this is a serious siege going on here. We've got a demolisher. It's got 2 kills, but a lot more than that. This is a lot of T3 units. Ravagers being built. Yeah, oh no, I say switch to triads or... Well, actually, Ravagers are pretty bloody good, aren't they? But, I think T1 PD might be the way to go. Highest, or very high DPS, certainly the highest DPS per mass expended. T1 bombers come overhead to assist in the defense. Nuke launcher, not yet complete. Could have used that for nuclear defense. We did see, I think a nuke silo was started over here, but it's back at the action. First shield goes down. Commander, you can see, is rapidly building triads with the loyalists. Loyalists are going down, but the bricks are coming in now with their 7,500 hit points. No shield upgrade on this commander, so just 15,000 hit points. Percival's doing their damnedest. I don't know how many Percival shots it takes to kill a brick, but we do have overcharge capability on DK's comm. He's just using it for some reason. I have no idea why. There we go. One goes out on an almost killed brick, so basically a complete waste of an overcharge. Strat bomber comes in overhead. The kill order comes in. Another strat bomber. T1 bombers. Oh, the assault is really petering out, and we've got a bunch of T2 and T3 units. But the last strat bomb comes in overhead, so it was close. I mean, if a few things had gone differently, if T3 units were in place, if there were some more defensive structures in place there, I think DK could have weathered that storm. It was just finished there on the Stone Ager, actually, on that missile. There is a defensive missile in the area for Canberra. Let's take a look at the range. Yeah, so defending that whole base. So it's hard to say what DK could have achieved with the nuke, but if he had weathered this storm, he would have had a huge amount of mass on his doorstep that he could have funneled into Percy's, and he was actually way ahead. He was 54k mass ahead in terms of total mass produced. So if he had weathered that storm, I dare say he would have won that game, or he would have been in a very good position to do so. But yeah, anyway, tell me what you think. Leave a comment. What could DK have done to win this game? Let me know what you think of these videos as well. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Be nice to each other. I don't know, I really am. I'm losing my mind here. I think it's really low off now. But thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.